I'm Senior Biotech Analyst John Vandermosten with Jim Cullem, the CEO of Allarity Therapeutics, and Dr. Mansoor Mirza, who sits on Allarity's Scientific Advisory Board and is Chief Oncologist at Copenhagen University. Allarity's most compelling asset is Stenoparib, a PARP inhibitor. PARP inhibitors are a $3.6 billion category led by AstraZeneca's Lynparza, which was approved in 2014. This class of drug is used for certain types of cancers that have defects in DNA repair, primarily ovarian, breast, prostate, and pancreatic cancers. Let's start by talking about the class itself, what it does, and how it can be better. Dr. Mirza, what can you tell us about this?
Well, thank you very much for inviting. PARP inhibitors have been used in ovarian cancer for a number of years. There are at least two drugs in the market that's niraparib and olaparib, and both have completely changed the management of our patients, especially in the BRCA mute population. When it comes to the BRCA wild type population, HRD, in first line, you see also great results, either single agent or combination. But when it comes to the HRD negative disease, either there is no efficacy or very modest efficacy. There's a lot can be done in that, and we have to still learn how to improve the way drugs are combined with other drugs in a synergistic manner, and in the way a biomarker is used to select patients that benefit.
Now, you said there are already a couple of these PARP inhibitors out on the market, and Allarity is working on adding another one to that, Stenoparib. How is this drug different from some of the other PARP inhibitors that are out there?
It's always difficult when it's a sort of me too, but stenoparib inhibits tankerase in addition to the inhibition of PARP that other drugs in this class offer. So this is a different drug, and there are multiple modes of actions.
Sure. And what exactly is tankerase inhibition? That was a little bit new to me when I first heard about Stenoparib. How does that work?
So tankerase controls pathways other than PARP. It affects the VNT beta catenin pathway, which is active in a number of tumors. So it's not only the PARP you are aiming at, you are having multiple blockades.
Great. And so, yeah, so you're coming at it from multiple directions. So it's almost like a combination drug in and of itself. Do PARP inhibition and tankerase inhibition work together to provide any synergistic benefits?
Uh, it's in the that it seems like that it does by expanding the PARP inhibition, which kills tumor that are deficient in DNA repair, to tankerase inhibition, which is completely separate. We can expect stenoparib to be active against a larger fraction. We need a new biomarker, the DRP, which also Allarity has, to properly identify these larger group. So yes, I think we are covering a larger group of patients with stenoparib than the other PARP inhibitors.
Okay. And you mentioned DRP, which is Alarity's differentiating factor. It's the way that they identify patients that might perform well. So how does DRP play a role for the Stenoparib clinical trials that are going on?
Well, the clinical trials right now are trying to locate, set up that you find the right patient, where you will see the efficacy of this drug, and DRP is trying to differentiate and give us the highest activity in the right population.
Okay. And when we think about cancer treatments, we generally think about, a lot of negative side effects. But Stenoparib may be a little bit different from some of these older treatments that we use. What does the side effect profile look like for Stenoparib compared to, chemotherapy or some of the immuno-oncology products that are out there?
Well, stenoparib is a much more tolerable drug. I'm maybe a little bit biased there because it's a PARP inhibitor plus that tankerase inhibition, and it caused some degree of fatigue and chromaturia. These are less unpleasant than side effects typically associated with chemotherapy. So sun rash is also a rare side effect. What one you can get a protection. Maybe not when you're in Dallas like you, but in Copenhagen it's a easy thing.
Better treatment in Copenhagen. There you go. And then thinking about the indications that are best pursued by Stenoparib, what are they? I know that there's a trial in solid tumors and there's one in ovarian cancer, but why are those a good target to pursue?
So I think first of all, the targets are, we have well-defined targets for PARP inhibitors. These are the best targets to pursue. The other thing, very important thing is that these are not IV drugs. This is oral administration, and that makes it very, very
yeah, much easier to administer. You don't have to come into the hospital to do it. You can do it on a daily basis, things like that. Yeah, very good. And so just wanted to wrap this segment up, talking about what's next for Stenoparib, assuming that the ongoing trials read out good results. What should we expect to see next from the drug?
So the monotherapy trial in ovarian cancer has been modified to twice daily dosing, first of all, which is good because that will have more drug in and with less toxicity profiling. And then we are looking forward to see the data confirming this. The combination trials with dovitinib are currently ongoing, which is very important because we have done some trials earlier combining angiogenesis with PARP inhibitors showing very great proof of concept, and here you will have a great opportunity. And I think the congratulations to Allarity that they own both of the drugs, so it would be easy to do these trials without any issue. Of course, as Jim, you said that you need some funding for that, but I think that would be a great combination to move ahead, at least in ovarian cancer, in breast cancer, for the future. For the endometrial cancer, I believe that we have to look at the combination of Stenoparib with immune checkpoint inhibitor. That could be a very interesting combination as well.
Okay, great. Combination therapy. We'll end on that note since that seems to be the future of immuno-oncology. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Mirza. Very great to have you here on Unboxing Biotech. And again, we have one of the members of Allarity's Scientific Advisory Board, Dr. Mansoor Mirza, with us today to talk about some of the details of Stenoparib.